Okay, hello everyone. This is a quick little demo to show you how ezyCollect works, the customers it serves, and the problem that we solve. So my name's AJ, I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of ezyCollect, and the next 5 or 10 minutes I'll take you through some really high-level features of the product so you can get an idea of how the system works. So before we get started with the actual product demo, very high level, what is our mission as a business? And our mission is really important because it's what drives us and myself and the whole team every day we come to work. And that's really to help businesses to be more profitable, to run more efficiently. And we do that through the lens of late payment. Our goal is to eliminate, or what we call net zero days, of late payment. And by doing that, we help businesses be more profitable and as a result succeed. Now, the way we look at solving this problem, there's no silver magical bullet that's going to help us eliminate this problem that's been there for hundreds of years for different businesses. For us, the key to our success is by looking at the entire ecosystem of every touch point where a supplier speaks to their potential customer and that journey to the day till they get the cash in the bank. And that's why this little circle here is kind of what we see as the customer and their customer journey, or customer and debtor journey. And it starts from first getting them on board as a prospect, deciding how much trade credit to extend to them, if they want to extend credit at all. In most B2B businesses, there is this concept of giving everyone 30 days of at least credit. And so how do you ensure you work with the right customers? How do you assess the risk? How do you ensure that these customers continue to be a good risk throughout their lifetime with you? That's where it starts, and that's where our system starts. We look at a module that we call Credit Applications and Credit Insights, and that's really about onboarding the right customers and assessing the risk of those customers on an ongoing basis. Once you have the right customers, the next module is really around the collection automation. How do you ensure that you chase the customers in the most appropriate way once you have them on board? Most of our customers already have accounts receivables teams or credit managers or financial controllers. So really it's about saying, how does the team work in the most efficient way possible to manage that whole chasing process? Everything from sending emails, SMSs, from making phone calls, to dispute management, to taking payment. That's the collection automation module. It's really that end-to-end process that helps a business manage their time more efficiently and effectively using a lot of machine learning, but at the same time keeping in mind that whole personal relationship in the B2B space. And of course, once you have the right customers, getting the payments in the door through our payments platform is one of our fastest growing parts of the product. It's actually enabling both suppliers and customers to come together in a portal to transact and get paid. And if someone still doesn't pay, it can escalate to third-party legal and debt collection. So really, this diagram here is really kind of giving you a view that solving cash flow isn't about doing one thing, it's about doing many small things beautifully, and that's how you get paid faster. So without further ado, let's flick into the actual product. Now, ezyCollect has been built as a web-based product. So what that means is that it can be accessed anywhere, anytime. And the other core tenet of ezyCollect is that it's always connected to your source business system. One of the core, IP that we have at ezyCollect is this really smart integration layer with any ERP out there in the world. We can connect through direct APIs, our own private APIs, or through flat files, CSV integrations, pretty much to any accounting system out there. And that allows us to drag the data from that system, such as customers, payment terms, invoices, credit notes, everything that you need, into ezyCollect. So a business that wants to use ezyCollect is instantly not having to worry about double data entry. They've got a single system, single source of truth, and everything is managed through ezyCollect when it comes to managing that whole customer interaction from the day of onboarding to the day they get paid. So in this example, there's some dummy data here. It's syncing the data all the time, real time, with the accounting system. And what you have here is fundamentally a view of your AR. Now, let's start with the very first module, onboarding, getting the right customers on board and assessing their risk. So a lot of businesses don't have a way to do that really efficiently at the moment. It's always done manually through paper-based forms, and there's no real data behind it. It's kind of a gut feeling, and they use something called trade references. So we've tried to reimagine that whole process from a more digital aspect, and to say, how do you give a business the tools to manage onboarding and credit assessments seamlessly, cost effectively, and quickly? So it starts with getting applications sent to your potential clients. Now, sending a credit application can be done by paper. We've digitized it and said, you know what, we'll help you create a white labeled application in a matter of seconds. You can add your terms and conditions, you can add your privacy policy. Once you've got that there, you can get a link that you can then share on every medium in which you communicate with potentially new prospects, on your website, on your e-commerce store, through your email, through wherever you like. And that link is basically a smart application form that when you send it to your customer, they can start the process of interacting with you to apply for trade credit, right? And that's really important because a lot of businesses don't do this in a very formal way. And this is the first interaction that your customer typically has with a business. So you want to give a really good first impression. And this is linked up to the Australian Business Registry networks. It'll automatically pull an ABN, it'll validate data, and helps your potential prospects complete an application form in a matter of minutes with the data that you actually need to then make an assessment if you want to assess risk. Once the customer has actually completed the form, you can see in here, it'll be in the ezyCollect system, and you as a credit manager can log back into ezyCollect and say, okay, let me check out what this customer actually filled in. So you have all the details of what they filled in. You can see who filled it in, you can see their address, you can see who was the director, or at least who they said was the director, and any ID verification documents that you would have asked them to upload. Then what most businesses would typically do was just say, oh, let me call the trade references and see if they're a good or a bad customer. But we all know people don't give bad trade references. So what we've done is we provide you with a credit score straight from a third-party bureau as part of the system as well. So you as a supplier, before you make a decision to give trade credit, you can now use a data-driven approach to say, you know what, according to external data in a trade bureau or a credit reporting bureau, even though the trade references might say they're a great customer, I can see that their failure risk is really high, or it's really low, or their late payment risk is very high or very low, and that gives you more security and more peace of mind to know that if I am trading with this person, it's a good or a bad risk. It's very much like that iceberg. You know what you know above the water, but we can tell you what's below the water. And so we've plugged in with Ilion in Australia, which is one of the largest credit reporting bureaus in the country, to give you that view. And you can validate. It says that this is the executive according to our bureau data. Is that what they actually said in the application form? And if the risk is very high, you can go in and actually buy a full credit report, and then you can drill down into a lot more information around director PPSRs. You can cross directorships. You can look into data around any other legal or court actions that might be currently underway with those directors. Who else has done a credit check on that business? So it's really about giving you that peace of mind to make better decisions. And of course, at some point, you can do the actual reference check, put in your details. Yep, spoke to this person, all good. Hit save, and Bob's your uncle. Off you go. You can then open up the trade account. You can put in how much you want to give them as trade credit, and when you approve it, it'll create the customer back in your ERP for supported ERPs. So that's closing that whole loop. So now the customer's been created, right? So that in itself could be a product all by itself. But really, what you want to say here is, but it's just one part of the puzzle, as I mentioned to you, to solving late payment. And once you have a customer on board, a lot of businesses stop looking at a customer in terms of risk. What you can then go into ezyCollect, and you can get real-time scores on these customers at any point in their journey. But more importantly, if you go to the Credit Insights tab, you can view those customers not just by aging, but by the risk levels that we've determined on an ongoing basis. So at any point in let's say it's 6 months later, you've logged into ezyCollect, you can profile your entire ledger, because don't forget, we integrate and we sync all the time, so the data is always up to date. You can say, okay, I have 22 customers that might be a potential relationship issue. What does that mean? Right, so we explain everything down here, but just to give you the summary, these are customers that are paying other suppliers on time, so they're paying the market, the under the water iceberg example, they're paying them on time, and we can tell that to you because we have that data from the external sources, but they're paying you late, because we know how late they're paying you in your own accounting system. And that is a potential relationship issue, because why are you not being paid? Are you not a key supplier? Are they taking advantage of you? And you can see that customer group is about 9% of everything that's owed to you. You can then go into that customer group and actually take action, right? So you can see those customers, in this example, are paying the market on time. That's what we call late payment and failure risk. That's market scores, but they're paying you very late. That's the internal score. So you might then choose to add them to monitoring, which basically means that we'll send you alerts if anything happens with that customer that might be, like a director changing or adverse events that you want to know about. But in this case, you might say, hey, I want to select all those customers at bulk. You can filter them for whatever other criteria that you might want, and you can then do a bulk communication, email, SMS, whatever you want, and it'll do that for you in minutes. So you stay on top of your debtors. Really small thing, but super valuable and very, very effective when it comes to managing late payment. But looking at it more holistically, once you've got the right customers on board and assume they're all, pretty good risk, you then want to put in place a really smart collection, dunning, workflow-based plan. And here's where I believe the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you can set up a process that chases consistently, persistently, politely, because these are often repeat transactions, you'll get to the top of the payment queue. And this is a way where you can do that through a really, custom-built workflow engine that can help you send pre-reminder emails, it can help you send follow-up emails, SMSs, faxes, letters by post as well if you so choose to do that. And if someone does pay, don't forget, we're always checking the accounting system so we know it's been paid. It can send a thank you message and it can stop chasing as well, right? And if someone does not pay after the first couple of steps, keep sending emails and SMSs may not be as effective. So that's when you can schedule other types of follow-ups, like a phone call follow-up or something different to what you've done in the past. And by the way, any follow-up that you do set up, it is very custom kind of set and forget templates. You can drag and drop these what we call merge fields into your main email body, and because we connect it to your accounting system, it'll merge all the data together when it sends that email. So it's very kind of personalized. It comes from your own email address, e.g. accounts@pubco.com.au, and when it gets sent, your end customer or the debtor doesn't know it's coming from ezyCollect, it's coming from you, right? And it's all kind of merged. You can attach invoices and statements, it's all very custom. But calls is what I was showing you is very, very important. If you keep doing emails and you don't do phone calls, then you're not really getting the best of your collection process, because we know in B2B world, calls are really important. So here the system can actually set up phone calls that you can make, and these phone calls are basically scheduled tasks that when your accounts team comes in, they'll see it in their inbox every morning. They log into ezyCollect, they can say, hey, here are the calls I have to make. And if you're a business owner or a credit manager or an accounts person, this gives you peace of mind to know that you don't let anything skip through the gaps. You will always call all customers, big and small, when they need to be called. You'll have more efficiencies because customers that are not required to be called will already be chased automatically or automagically, and the ones that need to be called are here for you to action. And not only could you call them, you can sort it by risk. So you can say, who should I call today? Maybe I should call Langworth Keen. You can see they're quite over their credit limit. They're really old, and they're up to their sixth call. So if I click on their account, I can come in here. I can see, look, I haven't really ordered a credit report recently. They're way over the limit. This is what's already happened in the past. I can see the history of what's happened, and this little I here is that the fact that they've viewed the communication, but they haven't paid you, right? So they're still kind of ignoring you. All the invoices are here as well, and it's all automatically synced from your accounting system, right? So you don't have to worry about, like I said, any double data entry. The contacts are here. So before I actually make the call, I can do whatever I want here. I can put a note for myself. But fundamentally, I pick up the phone, I call the customer, I call Oliver, today is the 6th, and I say, Oliver spoke to me, said he would pay tomorrow. Yeah, you get it, my spelling's not too good here. Lying as usual, this is my 5th attempt. Right, so something like that could be your personal notes. You save those notes, so anyone who looks at the account can see all the communication history. But then this is something different. This is an email to confirm what you just spoke to Oliver about, right? And you can say, hey, hi Oliver, as discussed, look forward to your payments. This is what he said he would do. And you can see you've got a merge field in here, and we can drag whatever merge fields that you want. So when it sends the email, it's all very personal, right? And you hit send, and the email goes off, and that email that gets sent also get saved in the history here. You can see my notes have already shown up there as well. Now, if the customer's promised to pay and you want to stop chasing them for a period of, say, a week, if you actually believe that they are going to pay you, you can do things like, pausing the customer till that date. So let's say you pause them till the 15th. What happens here, it'll stop chasing the customer for a period of time. And then when that date hits, it'll automatically unpause, check if you've been paid. And if you haven't been paid, it'll start chasing again. So you've really got yourself like a system that lets you put it on like autopilot, but it doesn't let anything slip through the gap as well. You might have an issue with a particular invoice that's under dispute. So instead of pausing the whole entire account from being chased, you might just want to exclude a particular invoice because they're disputing the price on that, medical bronze lamp. So you might want to just pause that particular invoice. You can do that too, or you can send someone a post straight away of an invoice in the right format automatically. So it's all about saving you time. Now, by the way, just to show you what does the emails actually look like that when they do get sent from ezyCollect, if I preview an example, you can see here in this example, Stark Industries is us, the supplier, and our customer is Langworth Keen. And what we've done with these merge fields, it automatically merges all the invoices that they owe you in one table. So you're not going to have to have 5 emails going over the 5 different invoices, chasing them. It's not what a real person does. So we really try and consolidate things to give you an impression that's coming from a real person. And if this email gets sent, you can imagine it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night, you put your kids to bed. I'm the end customer, Langworth Keen, and I got this email from you in my Gmail or my Outlook inbox, and I can see a Pay Now button as well. So part of ezyCollect is we enable you with the Pay Now and a Pay by Installment button in all your communication from ezyCollect. It can be on your invoices, on your statements, on your sales orders. We can put that Pay Now button wherever you want, and fundamentally that's our payments product. Our payments product enables you to accept payments 24/7 from all your customers to allow them to pay all your bills. So if I click the Pay Now button, and if you can imagine I'm the end customer now, this is me, I can log in and see a live view of all the invoices that are in your accounting system that I currently owe you. This is pretty cool because now it's a place where I can come as a debtor to actually pay you. I can view the invoice. I can see all the different line items there as well. And this is really, really interesting because now every single one of your customers has a way to actually view what they owe you, right? And they can view their statements. They can actually live in this place. This becomes a place where they can query and communicate and chat back with you. Hey, did I, and you can open up a channel of communication between you and your supplier. Or you and your customer. And it's a really important thing because the more you open the communication, the faster you get paid. And here I can actually transact. I can come in here, I can get my own email receipt, I can put in my credit card details, and you as a supplier can set up any sort of payment rules that you like, such as surcharging automatically or partial surcharging, put in your security codes. All the merchant fees, if you are surcharging, are going to be displayed on here. And when I click Pay Now, it automatically takes the payment and reconciles that back into your accounting system. So it's going to close the invoice, saving you a lot of time around banking and data entry. And again, if your customers don't have the money to pay you, we've given them the tools to settle, like pay over maybe 5 installments. Using the data we have, we're able to assess the risk of this customer pretty much real time, give them an option to pay over, say, 5 or 6 installments. You still get paid up front, but we go into a financing partnership with your customer so that they can pay over 5 or 6 installments. And what's happening right now is we're actually assessing the risk of the customer, and we've approved them to pay over those 5 installments. Here are the dates, and here's the installment amounts that they're actually paying. Right? And what's really interesting about this is that you're giving your clients more options, and we also have a way to do it through bank transfer. So not just credit card, we also have bank transfers too. Now, I'm a little bit over time here. I promised you a much shorter hands-on demo, but I hope that's given you a sense of what ezyCollect can do. In the event that your customer still doesn't pay after everything you've done, you can, with the click of a button, escalate to third-party legal and debt collection. So you can hit send demand letter, send to debt collector, and that's a step that you will do manually. We won't automatically do that, and we have a panel of lawyers and debt collectors who will then take action. And for example, a demand letter, I think is $49 if you send it through there, or a debt collection request is done on a no-win, no-fee basis. So if you do want to do that, it's a matter of just hitting the button. It'll go to a debt collection firm, and if they collect, they take like 15 or 20% off what they collect. So that's ezyCollect in a I guess 10-minute, 15-minute overview. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at sales@ezycollect.com.au. Once again, my name's AJ, and thank you for taking the time to hear this demo.